The 2026 NFL Draft has left us, but we are going to go over the three top teams that absolutely nailed the 2026 NFL Draft. Let's get into it right now. Welcome, everybody, to Top Dog Coverage. It's your boy Dirty with your boy C-Dub on this beautiful Wednesday. And today we are going to be talking about the 2026 NFL Draft and the top three teams that absolutely perfectly, maybe not perfectly, but nailed the draft. C-Dub, how do you feel about that?
I feel good. I'm gonna echo myself from our previous episode that it's extremely hard to grade these classes right off the bat because we do not know what their career is going to shape up as, but it makes for good content. It's fun. We get to argue back and forth. We get to have our own opinions, and the people get to comment and tell us how much they agree with us or how much they completely disagree with us. So it's fun.
That's pretty much it. So, I mean, if you agree with us or disagree with us, make sure that you still hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You'll have lots of fun with us on our journey to 500 subscribers. Right now, I believe we are at 315, 316. So if you guys hit that subscribe button, you make it just that much closer for us to be monetized and for us to go permanently on our journey. So make sure that you do, and you guys hit the subscribe button and the like button. Follow us at Top Dog Coverage on all platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and stay connected with us. Spotify and Apple, swipe up. Make sure you hit the 5 stars and leave a comment. TopDogCoverage.com. Vote for your favorite and email us topdogcoverage@gmail.com. If you guys want to talk about your team, your enemy team, your favorite draft pick, guys, email us. We'll talk about it on the show. All right. And soon enough, we will be having callers call in. That way you guys can be part of our show on possibly the Hot Sauce Hotline. We'll get into that a little bit later. But C-Dub, are you ready to get in some top three drafts?
Reckon so.
Okay. So this is how it goes, everybody. I have my top three teams that I believe right there. Who this cat? Subbed already, and that's why we give him shout outs.
Dub Bone.
Yeah, Dub Bone. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you so much. So thank you for the subscribe on the road to 500. But I have my three teams, and C-Dub has his three, and we are going to weigh back and forth why we believe that they had maybe the best draft. Again, we can't really define it until years later, but we are going to try it out. So, C-Dub, would you like to take the course?
I went first last time, but I don't mind going first if you want me to.
It's like a rap battle, dude. I mean, it's always better for, me if you go first. That way I can hone in on what you do wrong and I can make myself look better. I think that's pretty clear at this point.
Okay, cool. Well, then I will start out with my number 3 team.
Okay.
What I felt had hell of a draft, knocked out of the park. Is my local Dallas Cowboys. All right. So they had a lot of movement, right? There's a lot of moving parts in this. They had pieces of the Micah Parsons trade. They traded down with Philadelphia. They made a couple moves. That made a move with your New York Jets to get Quentin Williams. Made a deal with Pittsburgh to get George Pickens. So all that's into my equation, if you will. So this is a team that moved Micah Parsons, easily one of the best defenders in the league, right? Bonehead move because him and Jerry got in a pissing match, basically, right? But you make the move, you get Quentin Williams, who I think is a stellar defensive tackle in this league, still very good. George Pickens, who we saw what he can do with the adequate quarterback play. Now he's on the franchise tag.
Yeah.
You move Osa Odigizua to the Niners. You get a pick back for that. You make another trade with the Niners. You trade for D. Winters. And, those are great moves within themselves. But then we actually get into the draft, right? So first pick, they take my favorite player in this class. The number one player that I had is Caleb Downs, right? The stellar safety at Ohio State.
If nobody's listened to this before, okay, he's been on Caleb Downs since day one. Okay, so I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Love this guy. So he's you move up to give him, move up one spot. You trade a couple 5th-round picks to move up to secure the rights to Caleb Downs, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a safety that can completely transform your defense. Absolutely love this guy. The mentality, the toughness, what he can bring, just from a cerebral and the leadership aspect of it, help completely define the defense, right? And then you move back, you draft Malachi Lawrence. Now I wasn't as high on this pick as probably a lot of people are. I think he's kind of a one-dimensional pass rusher. I think he has a lot of natural upside, but I don't think he gives you anything in the run game. But if you're just executing him as just a pure pass rusher, go get the quarterback, pick. And then in the 3rd round, you come back, you get an off-ball linebacker, Jyshawn Barham from Michigan, who was able to rush a little bit. It's not really supernatural for him, but he can do it. But he plays with a lot of relentlessness, a lot of pursuit, a lot of passion. So another guy that can just help transform that defense. Then you get some offensive tackle depth with Drew Shelton from Penn State in the 4th round. Long, lengthy corner Devin Moore from Florida in the 4th round. You needed some more secondary help, so you add to that room. Another defensive lineman, LT Overton from Alabama. And then you get a speedy deep threat done in the 7th round from Anthony Smith from East Carolina, who also played in the American Bowl. Shouts out to those guys. But I think you bring in a lot of talent in terms of veterans and a really good crop of rookie within this class, which is really going to help transform this Dallas team. Pretty much putting all the chips on the table. They've got a lot of inflection of talent, which they usually do have. So now it's going to be up to Coach Schottenheimer to kind of mold it and get them over that hump, so to speak.
Yeah. Not for nothing. Cowboys needed a lot of defensive help, and it seems like I don't want to say solidified it, because what happens on paper needs to happen in real life. At the same time, though, you're talking about studs that were in college here, okay? Top, 1st rounders. So they also solidify their depth with this. They've made some trades, they inserted some plugs, and if they can just bring that camaraderie together, this could look like a very dangerous team that could potentially take, I say potentially, that division. We've always known that Dallas Cowboys have had potential players and very, very good talent, mostly on offense. But if they didn't have it on offense, then their defense was firing. It's always been an unbalanced kind of team. But if they can get this back to where it's supposed to be, do you think that Dallas fans could finally have a little hope?
No, absolutely. I think they've always been a team that's drafted extremely well. And I think with the new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, coming over from Philly, I think you could really see his stamp on this offseason with the moves they made to get some of those veteran defenders and this rookie class. And you could really able to see his vision start to come into play. And I think that gives them a huge chance within this division, because it's kind of wide open right now. Philly wasn't the juggernaut that we saw 2 years ago. Washington kind of fell off. I'm sure they'll bounce back as well. And then New York, it was kind of up and down. We got Dart in a couple of the pieces, so now you build around that. So I think it's gonna be a very competitive division, but I think the Cowboys put them in a really good position to potentially take the number 1 spot in the East.
So wrapping up the Cowboys, if you guys feel the same way, comment below and subscribe to the channel. Let us know your thoughts. So moving on from Dallas, I want to take you up north a little bit to a place that doesn't get much love. And
Atlanta?
Nope. Because we won't talk about Atlanta.
Right.
We don't talk about dirty birds.
We don't do that here.
We only talk about dirty. We don't talk about dirty birds. Let's go to Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. Let's go to Cleveland, Ohio, where the Cleveland Browns, I believe, had a huge, huge draft. Now, there stems questions still with the quarterback. Okay. And I think some of these teams are looking forward to next year's draft. With that being said, let's find out how they set this up, because this could be huge if they could just plug in a quarterback after all of their picks this year. So, Red Larson, we got you. He's a big fan. C-Dub is a big fan of you right now. So he doesn't. There you go. Arbone. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate the support.
There you go. There you go. So Arbone, thank you. So let's dive into the Cleveland Browns 2026 NFL draft. Okay. So they had pick 6 overall, and right away they drafted Spencer Fano, the Utah offensive tackle. He was a 3-year starter. He played both sides, both tackle positions. He allowed 0 sacks in his final season. Okay. And he had an 81.5 pass blocking rating and a damn near 80% run blocking, and overall an 84% grade. Okay. This kid, you can place him and plug him right in, which I think that's what they're going to do. They already got Titus Howard from Houston. You can plug into the right side, I believe. And now they are going into, putting Fano into the left side, right? So they've really tried to upgrade this right now. And this man is no slouch. He's 6'5", 311. So you're talking about a big boy coming in here to make sure that he can solidify that left tackle spot, regardless of who's at quarterback right now. Okay. So I would say it's not the sexiest pick, but it is a needed pick. There's a brand new sheriff in town. He's trying to, make things right here. So at pick 24, they get a wide receiver choice, and they go with Casey Concepcion, the Texas A&M. He combined for, just over 2,200 yards and 25 touchdowns in college. So his guy's pretty quick, 4.43 40-yard dash. And look, he can do some special things when he gets the ball. He's very fast. He is elite. Not saying that he's going to be a number 1, but they have a lot of things that they need to clean up in that wide receiver room. Okay. They have talent there. It's not that they don't, but some of them I think may be just names. They have Isaiah Bond from last year that they picked up in UDFA. They have, I'm sorry, let me just run through it because there are some names.
Judy,
yep.
Cedric Tillman.
Yep. Cedric Tillman, which don't sleep on Cedric Tillman either, So Jerry Judy, Cedric
Tennessee
Tillman.
Receivers, man.
Yeah.
They're not blossoming.
And not only with that, this kid could really do a number in the slot. Okay, so this kid could make some huge moves in the slot, and then right with pick 39 in the second round, they go again with wide receiver Denzel Boston. Now this kid, when he gets the ball, he moves the chains. Okay, he's like I would say like a mini Deebo Samuel type bit. Okay, he continues to hit and just move his feet forward. Okay, he's always trying to get the first down. I really like the fact that he's also, I've always seen him a lot do more of his work in the slot. Me personally, not saying he can't go downfield. He can stretch the field easily, but I was a big fan of this pick as well, knowing that they just double dipped. He had almost 1,800 yards, receiving yards, and 20 touchdowns. He ran a 4.52 40-yard dash, and his overall grade is, just under an 88 here. So that's at their pick 49. At pick 58, again, and I believe it's still the second round. I can't believe this kid fell, but Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo, the safety here, and this was our editor's favorite safety out of this class too. He was telling us. So shout out to Michael Rizzo for that. I thought, just starting off, these 4 picks for me for the Browns are great. This kid had 214 tackles, 5 interceptions, runs a 4.52. I mean, this kid is a ball hawk. Okay, he can stop the run. He knows where to be. He has very good angles. He's a very, very good safety. So this kid with the 4th pick here. Okay, you're still in round 2. They are just eating away at this draft. Okay, so we can take it to round 3 where they double dip again into a 4-year starter who only allowed 3 sacks in his final season at offensive tackle. So Austin Barber from Florida. Okay. Again, they are not trying to be sexy with these things. They are trying to make sure that they have a team that can get on the field, stay healthy. This kid is 6'7", 318 pounds. They are finding the biggest guys in this draft. I think this is exactly what Cleveland needs: a complete overload, a complete just flip over, flip back, and let's see where we're at again. Okay. They don't have any 4th round picks. They go right to round 5. Okay. They pick up another center, another offensive line. Again, Parker Brailsford out of Alabama, very versatile. He's an interior lineman. He can play guard as well. He needs a little bit of refinement, but again, this is not a guy that's going to be coming in and, you know, starting over, you know, Elgton, you know what I mean, from Green Bay. So this kid's going to sit there. They got a little bit of little bit of work to do, but 6'2", 290. You could say that possibly he's a little undersized or just right for that position, but you're talking 5th round pick. So he's a good depth guy here. So they're really solidifying this offensive line, which I really, really like. And then at pick 149 in the 5th round, they go after linebacker Justin Jefferson, Alabama, 150 tackles over the last 3 years, runs a 4.57 40-yard dash. He can sit in this defense knowing that he doesn't really have to start right away. Okay, he's going to be sitting behind Schlesinger, Carson Schlesinger, which was a 2nd round pick from last year. So this kid, he's 6 foot, 225, 230 pounds. So he can learn. He can be a good depth piece and learn what's going to happen here. Their defense, they didn't really have to add too much to their defense here. We saw what their defense was last year. Okay. They come right back in at pick 170 and get a tight end, Joey Royer, Cincinnati kid, 940 receiving yards over 2 seasons. Okay. This kid, very, very deep tight end class, as you were saying, C-Dub. So it was a very, very there we go. Cool. So this kid is 6'4", 255. I'm sorry. Let me bring this back. There he is. Okay. Got to get him back. All right. I'm losing over here. 6'5", 250, Joe Royer. So he can use a little bit of refinement on some blocking and such. He's been used as receiving here and there, but he's not going to be that automatic starter. But you have depth now in the tight end position. And then at 183, they get quarterback Taylor Green from Arkansas, 6'5", 230, runs a 4.36. That's massive. Okay. He had over 9,600 passing yards and 2,400 rushing yards in college. Okay. This is your mobile quarterback if you'd like. He's a developmental. He could just kind of fill in, you know, he's kind of in that group with all the rest of the quarterbacks. So it's not really the sexiest thing in the world, but he can add a little bit of spice, I guess. He's got the size of a quarterback and developmental, I guess. We could say that, you know, until next year. So you got another guy in there. And then they double dipped again. Last pick, 248. Carson Ryan. Okay, this kid is from BYU. He had over 1,000 combined receiving yards in college. He ran a 4.71. And again, another depth piece, because if you look at this depth on the depth chart, you have a lot of tight ends here. You actually have 7. So, yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm sorry, you have 8, which is still crazy, but these are some guys that can also block. They have a lot of blockers. They have a lot of offensive linemen. They double dipped in wide receiver. They got another depth guy for quarterback, and their defense was monstrous. So if they could put these things together and possibly get out some wins, let's see how that works for them. So I give them definitely a high grade here. I'll give them the top 3 because they're working on trying to make something big over there, and it's happening. They're trying to make it happen overnight. So.
Fair enough.
Still a quarterback away, but I'm interested to see it.
So I see you're not a Deshaun Watson believer or a Shedeur Sanders believer.
Don't get me
Dylan
started.
Gabriel believer.
Do not get me started with Deshaun Watson.
You clearly aren't a Taylor Green believer.
Just waiting for it to happen. Any minute.
But yeah, no, I mean, Cleveland, they had a great draft. I mean, they were my number 2 team. You know, I think A couple things. I mean, you hit on a lot there, so I'll keep it brief. But in round one, you took first tackle, the second tackle off the board, right? No, I think it was the first tackle because Maui Noah went 10 to the Giants. So you trade back with the Chiefs, and you're able to get your guy at tackle, and you pick up that extra third, which they used that third round pick to flip for these 2 fifth rounders and a fourth round for next year. So
yeah,
I think that's was a really good move there. And with the guys you mentioned, I mean, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, great safety pair back there. I think he can definitely develop into a tone setter within that defense, especially one that's played really well, but it's gone a little bit longer in the tooth in certain positions.
Yeah.
I like the depth that they added to the offensive line. Both receivers. Denzel Boston's a bigger guy, so I think he can win a lot of contested catches, make life easier for whoever is throwing the ball. And KC is great after the catch, so you can get him on some bubble screens, get him on some drags, just let him work in the middle of the field, get the ball in his hands, let him go work. And then Taylor Green, I really like that pick. I think it's a really high upside pick because he's so athletic and he's got such a great frame that maybe if quarterback doesn't work out, maybe he does convert to a receiver or a tight end. I mean, we've seen that happen multiple times with like a Terrell Pryor and a couple other positions as well. And I'm trying to think. There was one the Falcons converted to, but I can't think of Felipe Franks. He was a converted quarterback to tight end as well. So it's just something that you get him in the building and we figure out some sort of packages for him. And he's so athletic, he's so fast. Well, let's just figure something out for this kid, right? Yeah. So I think they've had back-to-back really good drafts, and all this kicked off with the Travis Hunter trade to Jacksonville, right? They moved back a couple spots. They still pick up Mason Graham. They get the first-round pick this year, which really opened some doors, and you can kind of feel the tide shifting in Cleveland, right? You're getting a lot of talent. You're getting the whole nucleus set up to find that long-term answer at quarterback, which obviously that's not always the easiest part. They haven't had the greatest track record with quarterbacks, but you're giving your quarterback or you're giving your team the best chance at some success until you find that guy.
Yeah. Can Cleveland start a new future? Comment below. Let us know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Okay. Let's, so that's your number 2.
Browns were my number 2. Yes.
We always somewhere in between intertwine, sir. Somewhere we always do. All right, so I'll go to my number 2 then. We tag team that pretty well. So, you know what? I didn't want to be selfish, but I'm gonna be. So I'm bringing it in. I'm not gonna say they're number 1 because they're not number 1 on my board. The New York Jets. The New York Jets made some really good moves this past season, this past draft, and we're going to go over it real quick. So the 2026 NFL draft, the New York Jets selected David Bailey, the edge, very dynamic pass rusher, had 14.5 sacks last year. He's elite. He's explosive. He brings a lot of pressure, has a lot of speed. They needed another edge rusher. Now they had 2 speedy guys on there. His run defense and being an anchor, he really needs to work on some of this, but he's gonna jump in there real quick, and he's gonna start doing that 4-3-3-4 hybrid role under AG. So that was the number 2 overall pick, going to the number 16 overall pick, Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end at Oregon. Okay, very versatile tight end. He could use a little help with his blocking, but that's not really what he's used for. This guy is used for catching the ball and go and try and take him down. Okay, so he has exceptional speed, running at around 4.39 40-yard dash. His route running is amazing. He's not exactly the positional need that the Jets needed, but now they have 2 good-sized tight ends, and with Mason Taylor and Sadiq. So you can run a lot of different 12 personnel. You could run a lot of different things happening over there now. So, and you can line him up in a slot, which he's been in. So this is a pass catcher. They needed to address something on offense, and more towards the end of the night, they go back in into the 30th overall. They trade with the 49ers, get back, or I'm sorry, they give up, I believe it's 121 or something. A later pick, and they picked Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver out of Indiana, which is another guy that they need, another kind of like a slot receiver here, and you can instantly play him. He's 5'11", 6 foot, almost 200 pounds. So this kid, he can definitely do some work. Now, I don't want to say that he's the savior here, okay? Because a lot of people look at some of those 2 or 3 catches that he made. He doesn't do that on a normal basis, okay? It's not like he's making crazy plays all the time, but when he does get the ball, he can be a playmaker. He can move the chains, and that's what you want. You want Geno Smith to be comfortable, get the ball to somebody, and just keep going, okay? You want to have control of the offense at least. So I was excited about the first round. Coming out of the first round, in day 2, they took D'Angelo Pons, a cornerback out of another Indiana guy, back to back, right? So this kid is AG-like, they were saying, and he's a competitive corner with very strong coverage instincts. So he's projected as more of a slot, maybe nickelback with the potential to start outside, and he is probably going to be starting out after Michael Carter's been gone. You have Brownlee over there, but this kid has a knack for seeing the quarterback and getting after, and really, really, really good tackling skills. So I like the fact that this kid can wrap up and he won't allow somebody to get by him. And we'll go right back into a little bit of depth move. So at round 4, they didn't have a round 3. Round 4, 103, Darrell Jackson, defensive tackle out of Florida State. He's a large interior guy here, upside in the odd front schemes, but the thing is, this kid is a depth piece. You got Briggs, you got Phillips, you got Sweat. This kid is going to sit in the back end. He's not, if anything, he probably is going to sit behind Sweat in more of that role in case something happens to him. But you got 4 defensive tackles back there. They're locked and loaded, ready to stop this run, and that's what I really like. That's how you got to stop. That's how you got to stop the people in this division as well. So, and another round 4, Cade Klubnik, okay, quarterback out of Clemson. Look, he's a developmental quarterback. Okay, he has mobility, zone window accuracy. He adds depth behind Geno. Okay, not sure about what's going to happen with Brady Cook here, but or if they're going to re-sign somebody. But look, this kid isn't going to be here to save the day. Okay, he's going to be here to let Reich work on him, see what he can do, and if he has to play, okay, he has to play. And we'll go right into round 6, where they pick Inez Cooper, the guard out of Miami. He is a big, technical, sound guard with starter potential. He's just adding depth here, though, okay, in case something happens. Okay, this is actually a pretty big kid. Where's he at? This is size. Yeah, so 6'6", 335 pounds. That's it's kind of a mountain of a man right there. So that he could be. He needs a little bit more help in the pass protection. He needs to refine his running game just a little bit, but I think it was a good pick. It's developmental. He's going to be in the depth charts there. And yeah, last but not least, my guy, your guy, round 7, 228, VJ Payne out of Kansas City State, the safety. He could play inside or inside the box or over the slot. He brings experience, and he's a 42-game starter. So this kid could definitely hit, and he has a lot of speed, but he needs to work on some of his angles a little bit, and he also needs to work on judging whether or not when he does go in with the run game too with those angles. So I was very happy. We needed some of this stuff. We made a lot of great signings. I say we because, yes, I am part of the team, people, okay? But that was my New York Jets rant for the 2026 NFL Draft.
You failed to mention that you traded a 7th-round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick.
I mean, it's free agency.
Well, I mean, it still has to deal with the draft. You're moving draft picks.
Yeah. So
I included that type of stuff into my projections as well. So
it's because you're a smart feller.
You can't knock the Fitzpatrick over there. Come on.
No, I think they have a pretty decent depth over there now. So
Absolutely. So, of course, I figured your New York Jets would be up there. I'm surprised you didn't have the number one.
No, look, I'm going to be fair. You know me. I will be fair. Okay.
Yeah. That's curious to see who your number one team is then.
I'm curious to see who your number one team is, sir.
Any guesses?
If I'm thinking out loud, it's either I don't want to say. I don't believe that you think that the Saints had the best draft.
No.
I
like what they did.
I like what they did too. I do.
I think it was the best.
You know what? I'm gonna throw one out there. I'm gonna go. I hate doing this. I'm gonna say the Carolina Panthers.
Interesting guess, but no, I did.
Okay. They had a pretty good draft.
They also had a good draft. Yeah. They also had a good draft. They were in my final discussions.
Okay,
spot, but they didn't quite make it after long deliberations, I guess.
Okay.
No. So my number one team is the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs, baby. So
Nuggies.
This is a team that, historically has been aggressive in the draft, similar to the Saints, but they move up from pick 9 to move up to number 6 to take the best corner in the draft, Mansour Delane, corner at LSU, who is great in press man scheme. For what Spags wants to do with that defense, he's a perfect fit for that scheme. So he's younger, he's cheaper. You move Trent McDuffie out, you get pick 29, and you use that pick on Peter Woods, who coming into the year before the season started, he was arguably the number one player on a lot of people's boards. Clemson did not have a good year defensively or overall as a team, but Peter Woods is still extremely talented. He can get to the quarterback. He'd be a great successor to Chris Jones whenever he decides to retire. So you have that succession plan, and he's a guy that can come in and give you some juice on the defensive line. And then come back round 2, pick 40. They continue to add to the defense, and they draft the edge rusher R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma. He's got speed. He's got power. They've kind of missed on a couple of these edges here recently. So this one is going to give you kind of that, again, some juice in that defensive line and be able to get to the quarterback. This is one of the ones that I think he fits really well in that Spagnuolo defense. So I'm excited to see what he does there. Round 4, believe it or not, we're going to continue to focus on the defense. 109, they take the corner, Jaden Kennedy from Oregon. I believe he's also he was at Tulane for part of his career as well. But this guy can kind of play in the nickel. He's got a lot of speed. He's going to be able to kind of be that chess piece for the Spags defense. So you're continuing to add pieces because obviously they lost their 2 corners in free agency by trading McDuffie, and they lost I can't remember the other guy's name, but he went over to the Rams as well. But
McDuffie?
No, not McDuffie, the other one, the other starting corner from last year.
All right.
It's irrelevant.
All right.
But from there, I mean, pick round 5, pick 161. I took one of my favorite running backs, Emmett Johnson from Nebraska. This guy that's just an overall solid, good football player. He's not overly athletic. He's not going to have game-breaking runs, but he's going to be in the right spot at the right time. He can catch the ball well. He can block well. He'll be able to find the hole, get those tough yardage. So it's just another element to add to that backfield, especially with Kenneth Walker. He had a great year last year, but he's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career. So it's important to continue to add depth and have that important piece for whenever Mahomes does come back. And then round 5, 176, you took receiver Cyrus Allen. This is a Cincinnati receiver. He's got a lot of speed in the open field. So, again, that's going to allow them to get back to their downfield, explosive passing offense, especially once Mahomes heals up and, continues to get recovery from that torn ACL. But you want to add more weapons. You have a lot of different types of guys there, so continue to add to that room. And this isn't even to mention, before I get to the 7th round pick, in undrafted free agency, they signed a lot of good players as well, like Jaden Knott, the Oklahoma running back, Jeff Caldwell, the other Cincinnati receiver, who's basically like Megatron light. He didn't have great production in his career. But around 7, you complete the draft. 249, you take quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, who has a lot of experience. He played at a big-time program at LSU, dealt with a really bad injury last year, kind of has some tough decision-making, but you put him in a quarterback room where he can develop and learn and probably become a really big long-term backup quarterback who probably get some spot starts throughout his career. But this guy that processes well, doesn't have an elite arm, but he knows where to get go with the football. He's accurate at most levels, athletic enough, nothing to write home about. This is just his only issue is he just makes the most complete brain dead decisions at the worst times. Right. But you get him in that room with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, as somebody they can develop and, have a long-term backup answer. So I love what the Chiefs did. The only thing that I probably would say is they could have added at least some offensive line depth at one of these picks. But outside of that, there's a bunch of free agents that are out there. You can address that after the draft. And you added a lot of youth, a lot of talent, and a lot of skill to a lot of levels of this entire team. So the Chefs are my number 1.
Comment below. Let us know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel. We saw what happened last time. The Kansas City Chiefs went all in on defense. Okay. And it was exactly the defense that happened. What was it, last year or the year before? They were forced to be reckoned with, right? They shut down everything. And it only took about a year for them to catch on. And then Spags came through and pretty much laid it down like, yo, this is gonna happen here. It was damn near perfect, if we're gonna be honest, right? So what's to say that doesn't happen again and catch back up with them so that they can have another shot to go far into the playoffs again?
Yeah.
So it's a good pick. I like that. And I don't think it's one of those picks where it's like, oh, it's the Kansas City Chiefs, of course they're number 1. No, you're talking about really analyzing who they chose at what positions at certain specific times in this draft too, because and really redirecting it back towards something that already had previously worked with the defense. So excited to see how that goes.
Spags is a G.
He is. And he's a spa with a G, that's what he is. Spags. All right. So any guess? Anybody in the chat have a guess what my number 1 is?
Let's see.
So what are you thinking? Oh, you're going over the names, aren't you?
Is it the Bills?
No.
Okay.
Although me, I'm very honest about it. So
yeah.
Actually, you want me to be real? I think the Bills played a little bit too much patty cake in the first round, moved down, and they missed out on good talent. And at the end of the first there, I really do. I don't know what that GM is doing, but yeah.
I guess my only other guess that I would think is a team that I liked what they did a lot too is the Raiders.
No, but they were top 5. I will say they were definitely top 5 of mine. Yeah.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna take it to where 2 guys left New York. And now they're together, and I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. So the Tennessee Titans, run by Robert Saleh as the head coach and Brian Daboll as the offense coordinator over there. Yeah. Let's go to pick number 4 right away. Okay. They went Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate. Okay. He's just under 200 pounds, 6'2", and he's expected to start that X receiver position right next to Calvin Ridley, slot wide receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson, along with them, who's had also 100 receptions the last 2 years. Okay, this gives Cam Ward a lot of relaxation a little bit. Okay, he has a lot of weapons. Okay, they have Tony Pollard back there. They have Gunnar Helm as a tight end over there as well. Okay, so let's go to the second pick. They trade back into the first at pick 31 to get an edge out of Auburn, Keldrick Falk. So this kid is very versatile to the defensive front with the inside and outside pass rushing ability. He's 6'5", 276 pounds. This is an edge rusher. Okay,
Long arms.
he will say again.
Long arms too.
Yeah. He's now look, he needs a little bit of help, but he has the potential to contribute in the rotation, as Robert Saleh likes to do, with Jermaine Johnson and Aladeo. I can never say his name.
Aladejo.
Yes. So they already put together who they wanted on this defense. Okay, so they got Jermaine Johnson, Jeffrey Simmons, John Franklin Myers, Aladeo. They got Cody Barton, Alontae Taylor, Amani Hooker. Like, they got so many. And then they have Solomon Thomas, bringing back basically everybody. Tony Adams, bringing back people that already know the defense, 5 or 6 of them, so this can run smoothly. I think adding a key like this to where he can just go smoothly, everybody has their time. They know when they got to go in rotational. They can learn very easily. I thought this was a great pick for them to come in, go get their guy. But then at pick 60, they get Anthony Hill Jr., the linebacker out of Texas. I thought this was a great legend. Pick. Yeah, dude, this kid is a 3-down linebacker. Okay, he's capable of covering the sideline to sideline. His run defense and his pass rush. He contributes very well. He's expected to start the middle linebacker, like he's plug and play. Again, Robert Saleh likes his linebackers. He can convert people from safeties into linebackers too. But I think this is a perfect thing for him. So he's very athletic, and he can provide a lot of stability on this defense. So they didn't have. After that, they didn't have a 3rd or 4th. So in the 5th round, they go in and they get Fernando Carmona, offensive guard out of Arkansas, 6'5", 316, big kid, very versatile lineman. He can play guard or tackle, and he provides a rotational where he can come in, come out, and he doesn't have to start right away. So this is a kid that will provide depth, and then staying inside that 5th round, pick 165, Nicholas Singleton, the running back out of Penn State. Now, I'm not a big fan of what happened in Penn State. There's a lot of, it just wasn't the program that went as far as people expected them to go. But at the same point, this kid is a damn good running back. Okay, I will say that. So, he has size, speed. He's very good pass catching ability in the backfield, and he has over 55, closer to 5,600 all-purpose yards, 55 career touchdowns, and he offers immediate depth behind Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears, knowing Spears having knee injuries, stuff like that. So he might play faster than you think, but. Yeah, 6 foot, 220 pounds. That's a pretty good sized boy right there. Trying to take him down. So, with that being said, they had 2 6th-round picks. They went with the defensive tackle from Baylor at pick 184, Jackie Marshall, 6'2", 293. He's very quick. He's a one-gapping defensive tackle, so he will compete for the rotational. Again, everything is like this defense allows everybody to eat, so he will be in that depth chart. A little bit. He'll be, sitting behind John Franklin Myers, Jeffrey Simmons, and probably Jordan Elliott from San Francisco, another guy who knows Saleh's defense over there. So, but they go back, pick 194. They go back into the trenches. Pat Coogan, the Indiana center, 6'5", 311, championship winning center here. Okay, so he knows what it's like to win. They're protecting their quarterback. They're getting weapons for their quarterback. They're getting trench workers for the defense. I think they are doing this correctly here. I really, really do. They get him. Again, this is not a guy that has to be plugged in. He can sit right behind Austin Schlottman. Okay, he doesn't have to do anything crazy. He could chill there. He's a big old dude, and when his number is called, he's going to know how to do it. He's done it in championship games. He's a pretty decent center. Okay, so all he's got to do is wait. And with the last pick in the 7th round, 225, Jaron Canuck, tight end out of Oklahoma. He's a developmental tight end. He has good hands. He's athletic. He's probably going to compete for the tight end 3-4 role. Gunnar Helm, like I said, is there. So it just adds a little bit more depth if they want to run more, 12 personnel, maybe even 13 personnel. If that's the the way that they want to, but they got Gunnar Helm, Daniel Bellinger, Kalen Granson, and then this kid, Jaron Canuck. So I thought what they did was great. They built through the trenches. They got their weapon first, and they got their weapon on defense, and then they just filled the trench. And I think that's really what they needed over there. And they got 2 brand new coaches that love what they do on offense and love what they do on defense. So I have them up top. I thought they did an outstanding job moving up and down the board and still getting value at the picks that they were at.
Yeah, I like it. Tennessee. They did a lot of moves in free agency, pretty good draft picks. I think they'll be a name on the rise for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see how it pans out if Brian Daboll can actually create Cam Ward into something better than what he is now. Give him a couple more options to work with, running back, wide receiver, some more trench guys that can help block for him. Maybe the defense can give him the ball back a couple more times, give him a couple more opportunities. So I'm excited to see what the Tennessee Titans can do this year. But if you guys have any comments, questions, make sure you comment down at the bottom. Hit the subscribe button and the like button. But that was my top 3. I liked your top 3. I'm not gonna lie. I thought those were pretty good.
Do we want to recap it? Just go ahead and give your top 3. I get my top 3.
Yeah, that's fine. You want to go first?
Sure. So I'll start from the bottom. So my number 3 team was the Dallas Cowboys. Number 2 was the Cleveland Browns, and my number 1 was the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well played, sir. Well, mine was the Cleveland Browns starting off. My number 2 was the New York Jets, and my number 1 team was the Tennessee Titans. So I believe those teams did a pretty good job in this 2026 NFL draft. Before we depart, you have any final words, sir?
I failed to forget that you hate the NFC. It just always talking about the AFC teams, man. No NFC love.
Well, give me something to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about it.
All right.
Yeah, but if you guys want a little bit of love shown to us, make sure that you guys follow us at Top Dog Coverage. Okay, on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, Apple, Spotify. Swipe up, hit the 5 stars, leave a comment. TopDogCoverage.com. Vote for your favorite team, and we get all of those analytics for all of our listeners. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and email us, topdogcoverage@gmail.com. Let us know who your favorite team was, and maybe we can go over them on the next show. But we appreciate everybody tuning in, all the way from Marco Jordan to Arbone to Levi to basically everybody that just checked in here today. So there's too many to count. So thank you so much for joining in, and we will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.